lesson 149 of A Course in Miracles. This is review number 4. We're almost at the end of this review. Each of these review lessons starts with the overarching idea: my mind holds only what I think with God. My mind holds only what I think with God. And today's lesson 149 harkens back to 137, lesson 137. When I am healed, I am not healed alone. And lesson 138, heaven is the decision I must make. So let's talk about all of these a little bit in the context of the rest of the course. My mind holds only what I think with God. First of all, for the course, our mind is not our brain, right? And that's something that needs to really be pointed out, because we tend to think in terms of what our brain does. The mind is something that is atemporal, acausal, non-spatial. The mind is outside of time and space, in other words, whereas the brain is in the realm of time and space. It's part of the body, and the Course says the body was not made by love. In other words, we made the body, the ego mind, right? We, as the ego mind, or in alliance with the ego thought system, which is a thought system based in separation, we made the world, right? We made fear, and because we were afraid of God, we now created a God in our own image. We created an unloving father, as Jesus says. Then we had to run and hide, right? And we created a material universe in which we could do that, and each one of us could hide in our own way and be separate and be and the idea of the unity of and the wholeness of all would be completely out of the question, right? We don't even question it even anymore. That separation is real. We think it's real because we made a world. The Course does not use the word create for what we do, as the ego in our ego self. It uses the word made. So we made the world in our own image, in the ego's image. Only God can only create, and what does God create? God creates only what is loving. What is loving is what is true, what is beautiful, and what is good, right? Nothing else really exists in reality. So that's getting back to my mind holds only what I think with God, is that in reality, my mind is one with God. As I align my mind with the divine, which the Course uses the term Holy Spirit, which you could say is my higher self, which resides in my heart. As I align with that thought system, I get closer and closer to understanding God and knowing God. So my mind holds only what I think with God, right? This is a statement of purpose, right? I only want to hold the thoughts. I only want to keep the thoughts that are loving, that are true, that are good, that are of love. Beautiful, true, good. So I only want to hang on to those thoughts. When I am healed, I'm not healed alone. This is a very interesting statement and a very interesting lesson. I think this is a very important one in terms of understanding why you don't necessarily need to change the world, right? You don't need to actively try to change anyone else's mind, because when your mind is healed, everyone else's mind is healed as well, right? How that works is probably a bit of a mystery until you get there. But you might understand it as you get closer. You start to recognize that the only thing that really needs to be done is is to be concerned with your own inner peace. As you learn to let go of anything that's in the way of that inner peace, the world will change, right? As the world changes, you'll start to accept what before you rejected, and what before you denied, and what before you hated. You will start to accept the world and see that the world is really a neutral thing, that the world is not doing anything to you, right? You are not a victim of the world. Rather, the world will be what you make of it, right? It's how you see it. And if you want to see it through the eyes of love, that's what it will be. So that's, and in that sense, as you heal your mind, you learn to accept everything. In that acceptance of everything, everyone is healed, right? Everyone, at least in your own mind. Now, other people might not see it that way, but in your mind, everyone is going home with you. Everyone is embraced by that loving vision that you now have, right? I'm not claiming that that's the final. I would say that's how to look at it while we're here in this world right now. But ultimately, when I think the idea is that when you wake up, you realize that there was only one, right? There's only, your mind includes all minds, right? And it's not to say that you are the only one. It's to say that all our minds are joined. And waking up means you understand the mind of the all, right? The overmind, the mind that contains all, that excludes none, in which all are contained. And in realizing that, everyone is healed, right? Everyone is whole again. Heal and whole are have the same root sense. To heal is to make whole. I believe Jesus says that in the text. To heal is to make happy. To heal is to make whole. Heaven is the decision I must make. I also talked about this as it's a little bit of a play on words, right? I must make this decision, and I must because I can't do otherwise, right? Right? Because heaven is my true nature. Another way to say heaven is the love of God, or perfect peace, perfect love, perfect oneness. That's a choice I must make because that is what I am, right? That is my true reality. That is my true nature. So I must make that decision. I have no other decision, right? I have no other choice, actually. It's not even a decision or a choice. It only seems to be a decision or a choice from where we stand or where we sit in this world, in the world of perception, in the world of duality, in the world of separation. It seems to be a choice. In reality, it's not a choice, because we cannot be other than what we are, right? We could try to be other than what we are, and we have tried that, and it's up to every individual to ask themselves, is it working, right? Is it has it worked? And Jesus is saying the illusion will not work, because it's not what is real, and what is real is your true nature, is your real nature, or your true nature. So you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide forever, right? You have to, ultimately, you're going to have to make that return journey and come back to home again. So with that, I'm gonna end this for today, and we have one more review lesson, 150, before we go on once again to the longer lessons. Thank you so much for tuning in, and would always love to hear your comments, your thoughts. I'm gonna keep rolling with my videos that I've been doing about the Bhagavad Gita. I hope that's interesting. It's probably a little bit too technical for many people, but I'm enjoying doing it actually, because it's interesting for me to look at the different translations. So if you do tune in, thank you for joining me in that, and I will be also sharing some other stuff too as we go along here. So thanks for tuning in, and see you very soon. Keep on staying the course. Keep the faith.